No gators yet. Oh, there it is. Oh, papi.
Oh, you know what? I didn't hit the intro video.
I don't believe it. That's Clone Force 99.
This is Wrecker, Hunter, Echo, Tech, and Crosshair.
Oh, I don't have a cool send-off. This is embarrassing.
Obviously, we are different.
We're all you're getting.
Ha! We're all you need.
They call themselves the Dad Batch.
Experimental Unit Clone Force 99. The defective clones with desirable mutations.
This is one meeting I don't want to miss.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Dad Batch podcast, where we talk, of course, Star Wars and all things pop culture, episode 123. Welcome to the YouTube live show. You did it. You made it. You're here. We want to see you again, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit subscribe, ring the bell to get notified, and when we go live, post new content. Of course, you can feel free to use that super chat button, and we will read your comment live on the show. My name is Stevie Kicks, and I am one of your 4 hosts today. And with us, as always, the other Dad Batchers, your space daddies. First up, his mask came in overnight shipping from Indonesia. Crosspool, Brian Cook. How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm trying to find my scissors.
I love it. This is the epitome of Con Crunch.
This is the live workbench.
That's awesome, man. All right, I'll move on. Next up, still the commanding officer of the 501st Legion's Southern California Garrison, Rami Shanaday. How are you, dude?
I'm good. I am from the room immediately on the other side of the door from where Brian is at, but so we don't have like mic crosstalk. There's a door closed between us, but
Rami, where are the freaking scissors?
They're on the table. They're in front of the couch. Where you were cutting the eyes out.
Is classic Odd Couple.
He's cutting up his
dude.
map?
What did I tell you?
Oh my god.
They were on the couch for the record.
They were right where I told you though.
And finally, Daddy Deadpool about to make a name for himself. Left Coast Avenger Luke Yates. How are you, dude?
I'm looking into a crystal ball of what my Japan trip is going to be like, sharing a room with Brian. So this is good. This is all good.
I will have a full report after this weekend for you, Luke. Don't worry.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's good because we'll be con crunching over there too. So gonna need some deets.
Let's not bury the lead. You guys are Rami and Brian. You guys are in Orlando currently. How's it going?
It's humid here.
It's
over 80 degrees.
Isn't it like 10 o'clock at night?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, no. So I came in last night. Brian just got here a few hours ago. He drove down from home, and we're here helping Heroes and Villains get their booth set up. So for anybody that saw what was set up in New York when you Stephen and Brian were there for New York Comic Con, I would expect it would be very much similar to that. But it's myself and Brian here this time, and we'll be there all weekend long, causing trouble and helping.
I don't want to toot our own horn here, but after Marvel and BioWorld saw the booth at New York Comic Con, they were like, "Oh man, can you guys please bring that to MegaCon in Orlando and do it again?" It's like, I don't think that they've ever done a booth twice.
Yeah, and here we are. And so yeah, it was very popular. So it's back. And so we've got the Weapon X tank that we built for them. It's already set up. We just got a couple finishing touches to put on it in the morning, and it'll be ready to go by 2:00 tomorrow afternoon when the show opens up.
I think a big reason that it was such a big hit was probably Larry the Scientist. Was that his name, Brian?
Deadpool. But yes, I called you Larry.
Larry the Scientist. Yeah.
well, since then we were doing a little digging, and we realized you found, Stephen, that the scientist that in the comics, and then Luke found the name, right? So the scientist in the comics that created Weapon X is named Dr. Cornelius. And apparently this guy actually looks somewhat like me.
Somewhat or identical.
So apparently
pretty close.
So on Friday, and so we did a little bit of research, and I have acquired the necessary costume items. So on Friday, I will be in full Dr. Cornelius regalia.
So cool.
Head to toe, including the lab coat, pocket protector, the chromed glasses, and everything. So
that's deep cuts Marvel too. That's extra bonus points right there.
Yeah,
for sure.
Dr. Cornelius.
Dr. Cornelius.
So between Dr. Cornelius and Brian's Deadpool, you guys are just gonna run amok on all the Logans.
Exactly. And then to go with how did we even get onto the TVA thing, Brian?
I think because when my mask wasn't going to show up.
Oh, right.
Figure out how to burn me.
Brian, tell me about that.
I think it came from just like us joking about it too. It just happened in real time and like joking.
Yeah, I think
joking manner.
There was a possibility of the mask not making it in time, and I think Raimi like jokingly said like, "Oh, we can get some latex and like put it all over your face." And this is why my hair looks like this,
and you could be maskless.
Yeah, maskless Deadpool. So I have my summer balayage hair.
Yeah.
I'd run around like that, which does not sound fun, honestly. I'd much rather have the mask on.
I'm glad the mask showed up for sure.
It showed up. So,
but I upheld my half of that bargain to do the TVA costume.
Yeah. So Raimi goes, "Oh, I'll be a TVA guy. Let me make a shirt." 20 minutes later, he's got a full shirt made.
30 minutes later, he has a temp pad made.
Are you are you a specific TVA agent, Raimi?
Dude, that's crazy, Raimi.
I don't know. Generic TVA agent.
I don't know. So do they all wear the same shirt? Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember. Did they all have the same? So I obviously the shirt that Loki's got. We'll get into it in the workbench, I guess.
Okay.
So because I've got it all here, right?
Because I just want you to stare at Deadpool like lovingly, like.
Well, it's
oh yeah, the guy in the console.
It's Mr. Paradox, right? Or that's the guy in.
Oh, but he wears like a full-on suit. Yeah, he wears a full-on suit. Yeah.
But then somebody was telling me that like he's actually like a variant of Owen Wilson's character of Mobius. Mr. Paradox is a variant of Mobius.
No, he's just another agent.
I don't know. That's according to the internet. I'm just.
I was gonna say, speaking of Mobius, that you could probably slightly alter your kit that you have for your TVA and do a Mobius costume as well at some point. You know, because he had kind of a cool different look too.
That'd be a cool idea.
I mean, Luke Wilson, he just wears. Wow. Wait, is it Owen Wilson?
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson.
Wow.
He just wears a white wig, so you could just rock that.
Yeah, totally. Did he ever do his wow in the show? Did he ever do the wow?
Wow.
I think he did.
Wow.
I gotta rewatch that again. See if he did.
We'll just. I need somebody to do Loki, and then we'll just sit in the food court eating pie.
Oh, hey, I like key lime pie too, so I could
Same.
Yeah.
And just going, wow, this is good pie.
Wow, it's good.
Thank you, Rachel T, for the super chat. Can't wait for Crosshair to meet Tech Goldfish this weekend and give him a big hug. That is right.
Nice.
A big hug would be incorrect. If you have seen Anchorman, when Jack Black punt kicks the dog
No.
off the overpass.
This is how I roll.
Yeah. You know what I'm gonna do? Well, this is how I roll.
Why would you do that?
He
Why
goes,
would you do
he
that?
goes, this is happening.
Dude, you're so mean. What the heck?
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Well, it sounds like you guys are gearing up to have an amazing time at MegaCon. I can't wait for you guys to report back on that. Make sure you keep it clean during con hours. That way the debauchery can ensue after hours, as we do.
We're very professional, respectable
Mhm.
gentlemen, Stephen.
Brian will be in bed by 9 for sure.
You ain't telling Deadpool what to do.
Oh God. All right. Next on the list, Raimi, can we talk some updates on LA Strikes Back?
Yeah. So first of all, the most important update is that all three of the major LA area fires, the Eaton fire, the Palisades fire, and then the Hearst fire, the one that was up north, they're all out, 100% contained, out. So thank goodness for that. And that's a relatively recent occurrence. So I'm very pleased to announce that those are all out. That said, just because the fires are out doesn't mean that everything that happened as a result of them is over, right? Like people are still not home, and people still won't be home for months at this point. Like, right, but the damage has to be remediated. You know, the smoke damage takes a long time. It's going to be a long time before people can get home. For many of them, and those are the ones that like can go home. Many people, you know, will never get to go home because their houses are just simply gone. So we've got this LA Strikes Back project that we're doing in conjunction with, Mike Forrester and the folks over at Thank the Maker. And what we're doing is it's a combination, right? Like we're getting helmets, getting those in the hands of artists that are getting them painted up in both like LA, Hollywood, California style paint jobs, as well as like first responder, firefighter kind of paint jobs. And we're going to be auctioning those off. So think of it kind of like the Ornament Project, but with helmets as sort of the base, and then those styles of paint jobs. So we're shooting. I don't think we've gotten the green light to announce a date yet, but we're shooting for very early March as the date. So keep your calendars open for that. We'll be announcing a date very soon, if not like any minute now. So the date's been picked. I just not going to be the one to jump the gun and announce it yet. So we've got other items. So thanks to Adam with Story of the Year and all of the musical connections that he's got, we've got all kinds of musical items that are going to be coming in and will be auctioned off as well. So there's all kinds of raffle items. Just today, our friend Rachel, who does the amazing puppets and the Batcher stuffed animals, she is donating a large, it's bigger than the ones that she's done before, Batcher, and she even did up like a little service animal,
Oh, that's awesome.
little poncho thing for it. It's so
Nice.
cool. So we revealed that today. So that's going to be one of the giveaways in the raffle as well. So we've got all kinds of stuff coming in from throughout the community, and it's our most ambitious one of these charity drives that we've done to date. So
Right before we started recording, friend of the show Emily Swallow she uploaded a little reel showing all the helmets that she's donating.
Yeah,
Dude, that's cool.
quite the collection. And as of right now, I think we've got over 50 helmets that are being painted by various artists. So
Wow.
the number's
Jeez.
growing. Last week at this time, it was like in the 30s. And so now we've just jumped up quite a bit more.
Wow.
So, and by most of the same artists that you're familiar with from the Ornament Project, it's like all the same names. So
Nice.
it's going to be an impressive lineup.
I only won one ornament. I only won one ornament, so I'm definitely going to be winning a helmet this go around.
Yeah, and let me tell you, I have the fortunate luck of being able to see sneak peeks of some of these things that are coming in
Damn.
And the artistry. I think of it like all the stuff that you like. The ornaments are, roughly yay big, right? And you can only cram so much into that. Imagine what you can do with the form factor of a helmet and that much more size.
Yeah.
And just the scope of what can be done with that much bigger of a canvas. It's crazy what I'm seeing some of these guys do. So, and some of the names that have found out about the project and asked and have reached out and asked to be involved in it. There's names that are attached to this that will get announced in the coming month that are going to blow the socks off of everybody. Like when they hear some of the names of people that are working on helmets. So,
I can't wait.
Crazy. The stuff they've been teasing in LA Strikes Back's Instagram stories, that backpack thing that was teased earlier.
I saw that.
Thing
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
so cool.
yeah. So if you're familiar with
Wearable
the guys that do like the droid builder bags that are
Yeah.
the ones that like they fit the droids that you build at Disneyland. Yeah, that one's all full on like
So cool.
with like lights and siren and everything. Yeah, it's so cool.
That's legit. If that's the quality level, yeah, we're gonna be in for a treat when we get this debuted. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. I myself am doing 2 different helmets. So I think last week I had the one on. I think I had the
Vader.
one behind me. The Vader
Yeah.
one was behind me
Yeah,
last week. Yeah.
totally.
So and I've got another one that I'm doing. I'll start to tease that when I get a little farther along.
That's
Obviously
the
I
one
can't
I'm
show it this
excited
week,
to
but
see, dude. That
yeah.
the second idea one that you have, I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, and it's the helmet itself. It's based off the second one's based off a Mud Trooper helmet. So
Nice.
which is it's perfect because it's got
Perfect for
the
that.
respirator with the hoses and
Yeah.
everything. It's already a perfect format for that. So
That color is gonna look so cool on that silhouette. Can't wait.
I think so too.
Instead of painting the helmet, I'm gonna paint this.
Stevie Strikes Back.
This could end up on your mantle. Oh, that's
It's
awesome,
the
man.
prototype popcorn bucket for the Dad Batch movie.
Hey, Brian, you want to read this super chat?
Why am I in timeout, May? Thanks for the. I mean, okay, here.
You already look like you're in time.
He's in timeout, May. Don't worry.
Because you can't be kicking Tech Goldfish, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Thank you for that super chat, May. Okay, so next up on the list, we need to talk about something that is happening in, oh my gosh, 2 months. Is it really 60 days away?
Oh my god.
69 days away, gentlemen.
You are referring to St. Patrick's Day.
I mean,
66 days away.
obviously.
66. Yeah. Yep,
No,
yep.
what I'm referring to is
Welcome to Pabu, my home away from home.
Here's your drink and enjoy the reunion.
I like sushi. I like sushi. I like sushi. 冬には旬の寒ぶり。丸太のような寒ぶり。
We can do that another 5 minutes. I'd be super happy.
Yeah, we need the extended dance cut, Steven.
Well, that's literally the song. It's that over and over and over again.
It is. It's
We
just
got to
that.
put out a music video, Milli Vanilli style for that video.
we still haven't sent you the original of that, have we? Luke?
Yeah,
Like, we
no,
haven't-
I haven't seen the OG.
we haven't given you the OG. Okay, we got to get him brought up
Drop
to
it in
speed.
the DMs.
Okay, so I think we talked about this for the first time last week. So we submitted our application to do a live presentation of the Dad Batch podcast on the HoloNet news stage at Star Wars Celebration, and they were crazy enough to say yes. So on April 19th, which is the Friday of Celebration at 4 p.m. on the HoloNet news stage, the Dad Batch podcast family reunion will be live. So we hope to see as many of you there as possible. We did our, I think it was Celebration London the first one of these that we did, Stephen?
that was our first family reunion, dude.
It was our first one, and we didn't know what to expect walking into that. And we showed up, and there was a line. They had like little lines taped off onto the floor, and it was cool. Like it was full, and then it went around, and down the hall and around the corner, and we did not have any idea what to expect from. We were not expecting that, and so we were very humbled by the turnout that we had for that, and we really appreciate it. And we've had great response from all of these events that we've done since then. Super excited to see what Japan's going to bring. We want to see as many of you there as possible. Like we said, come. We want to see the costumes that you bring. Hopefully everybody's able to get a costume over there and proudly wear it at the con. We know that there's been some back and forth about like what costumes are going to be allowed and everything. Lucasfilm's cleared all that up. You can wear a costume at the con. They've got accommodations for that. There's changing space at the convention center, and they've published all kinds of information about how that works. So we want to see your costumes. We want you to come ready to talk about it. What's on your workbench? What kind of news you're looking forward to around the show and convention? There's going to be lots of announcements, and we're ready to talk about all of it. So again, April 19th, which is the Friday of the convention at 4 p.m. on the HoloNet News stage, Dad Batch Podcast Family Reunion, and we hope to see you there.
I haven't told you guys this, but we've been getting messages from some of our international listeners on the IG. A couple of them are listeners from Japan. And yeah, I'm like, it's got me excited. Like, I can't wait.
Are we big in Japan, dude? Are we big in Japan?
I don't know.
I would just like to say,
I guess it's Saturday, by the way. Yeah.
I would like to say to those listeners, Hajime Mashite.
Biru.
That comes after. Hajime Mashite, and then they say
Biru.
Hajime Mashite, and then you say Biru.
Biru kudasai.
That's all. I'm rooming with him.
Yeah,
that's my guy.
Beer, please. Oh, sushi. Sushi.
Yeah. We got vocab stacked. We're good.
Dude,
We're good.
I still don't know how to say bathroom, but it's fine.
I guess thank you, Steph. It is Saturday. I don't know why I had it stuck in my head that was the Friday, but it's Saturday.
Now, whether or not you can make it to Japan, we still want to see you rock your brand new family reunion t-shirts and stickers and sweaters that we have available on our website. Thank you, Luke, for the new artwork on that. It is amazing.
Yeah, buddy.
So we have two logos or two drops that we did on the website. One is our standard Dad Batch Podcast logo, standard colors in Japanese. And then we have the Celebration exclusive blue and red colorway that is exclusive to the Japan Family Reunion Star Wars Celebration. The cool thing with these shirts is like the front is in Japanese, and then on the back, on the neck, it's got our standard English logo, which is really cool.
So dope.
Yeah, it's always cool when we can get them to do that, like double, like front and back printing.
Yeah. So make sure you get one of those. And thank you everybody for tuning in. If you'd like to show your support for the show, whether you're going to Japan or not, pick up some exclusive shirts on thedadbatch.com.
This garbage is nothing like clone armor.
Looks a little tight on you, old man.
Yeah, at least I know how to wear it.
That's right, everybody. It's time for the weekly workbench. All right, gentlemen, who is working on what?
Yeesh. Actually, you know what? I just kind of tuned up, and it's something Marvel related. I was working on this a couple weeks ago, but I pulled it out last night, and I started finishing some of the metallics on my Gambit armor.
Nice, dude. Did you see that photo I sent in the chat with like his back, the back shots with all the paint detail?
What, for the neck piece, for the cowl?
It was his back, his posterior shot without the jacket.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
And then Brian was even like, dude, you better get to work or something.
Oh, nice.
I'll find it. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, send it to me. It's just like the black suit under the jacket, like what we kind of surmised, but there's some detail to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then I put a little bit of metallic on the neck.
Good, yeah.
But I actually, from what you guys initially saw, I actually brought it down a little bit. It was a little too blue. So last night I actually it was kind of weird. I actually like kind of buffed it with like a not like a wool pad, but kind of like a heavy cotton pad, and like took the shine down a little bit. And then I just black washed it with a sponge and brought some of the color down that way. And it didn't dry very like liquidy, like it looked like it had like, black wash like acrylic paint on it. So I saw that too, Austin. The chat. I had to contain myself as well, but that's all I got.
All right, fine.
Okay, am I up? All right, so we were talking about the TVA thing. So we were talking about doing the TVA Deadpool, like with Deadpool would have like no mask on. I don't even know like why that dovetailed into the TVA thing, but we were talking about like me having something that I could like nag Brian with and whatever. So really the key to the TVA costume, like it's the normal brown pants. I got the belt buckle that's got the TVA logo on it. And then the tie, and I was just able to just order the belt buckle and the tie. But the shirt is the tricky part, because they've got this shirt and like the collar, instead of the collar coming up and then like down and then just like a normal button down collar, the collar like it extends all the way and is sewn straight into the sleeve seam. So this is like great audio, right? But like, so this shirt, I got to figure out the camera here. So you can see the collar, like, so normal collar comes up, has a button here, and then the one piece of fabric all the way straight down into the shoulder seam.
That is so cool.
So this,
it's almost like the yoke on a Western style shirt.
That's exactly what it
Steven
is.
said that too. And it's similar, but it's one piece of fabric connected to the collar.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like an unearthly
so
style.
It's very cool.
Crazy.
And I've wanted to make this. I mean, I was looking for an excuse to make this shirt anyways, because I've wanted to do this since this came out in Loki season 1.
Yeah.
I just needed the excuse to do it. So this was a easy excuse. And I mean, like the back is crazy because like, look, there's like from the back, there's no collar.
There's no collar. Oh,
because the collar literally has like the collar goes straight down into the back yoke.
If that thing didn't have like dress shirt buttons, it would be like a really cool Star Wars-y kind of shirt too.
Yeah. Well,
or like a denizen or something.
I have this old Van Heusen shirt that I had disassembled and that I used for the pattern of all like the smuggler shirts that I make. And I just
that's brilliant.
And I can modify it easily to like do the Han Solo flap on the front or whatever. Like it's the same pattern that I use for every shirt that because it fits me good. And I know I know how to modify it easily to make it like I can do cuffs, or I can just do like a straight wrist on it or whatever. And I can do the flap thing for the Han Solo look. So same pattern. I just, when I got to the point where I had to do the collar, I just figured out what to do here. And I actually used like the collar pieces from the shirt to figure this out.
Yeah.
So
crazy
work. Crazy. Just on the fly too. God.
How long did that take you to make the shirt?
So I had the body, including the collar and the yoke.
5 minutes.
No. I maybe started it late afternoon on like a Friday, and by the time I went to bed that night, which was a late night, like I went to bed at like 1 a.m. that night. I had the body and the collar done.
Jeez.
I had the sleeves cut out, but nothing assembled, or like it was just fabric cut out. The pattern, it was patterned. That was it. And then by the like mid-evening the next day, I had run around in the day and whatever, but then like I had the sleeves and including the cuffs, and I did all the details on the cuffs. It's like normal dress shirt sleeves and cuffs and everything like that. It was finished then, and I had to do the buttons, and like it took me freaking forever to hand sew the doggone buttons on. So that's the shirt, and the shirt's really the kind of centerpiece of the costume. And
That's
then
incredible, man.
I had ordered just like a regular kind of brown jacket, and I just got some iron-on stuff and cut it on. I just did this on the back of the jacket. So,
dude, that's so dope. Did you do that on like the Cricut or or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah. So that was just kind of an easy extra thing to add. Although it's freaking hot here, so I don't know if I'm even gonna wear it. So.
Slinking over the shoulder, dude. So sick, man.
And then Brian's mouthing off, and he's like, "Oh, we need one of those little computer things that they've got, and we can throw back and forth at each other. What do they call it? The Tempad or whatever." And then so we find these files, and like 6 hours later, I had the thing printed out, and I got it.
I mean, how'd you do the deets, man? Like, what the heck?
So I cheated on the buttons. I paint penned it.
Oh, nice. Wow. I mean, you can't tell from just over the video.
It's kind of Brian's 10-foot rule. Like if you get really close to it, it's kind of crappy, but.
Sure.
And I used paint that dries pretty quick, so I could mask it and paint it fast. But it came out
nice.
Good. Opens up,
dude. Brilliant.
And then today I was working on something that follows on with something that we did last year that we will show everybody on Sunday of this year.
Super Sunday, perhaps.
Yeah. Kind of the kind of like the halfway point of something on Sunday.
What's happening on Sunday? That's the last day of MegaCon.
Yeah. That.
Oh, dude.
The other thing.
The Doggy Bowl.
Yeah.
The Doggy Bowl.
Yeah. They've got it's the dog
Doggy
show,
Bowl
right?
Rocks, dude. Doggy Bowl for sure rocks.
I have not been working on, I kind of have been working on costume related stuff. Somebody messaged me today, Kiefer messaged me and was like, "Hey, how's the Japan costume going?" And I was like, totally forgot. Like I forgot about it. Like it's literally sitting there getting worked on. I just have to get all the soft goods together for that. So it's the Japan costume is it's making good progress. It's a work in progress. I finished up the details on the Ecto goggles from last week, so it doesn't fall apart now. And I'm absolutely loving printing with ABS on the filament printer in the enclosed Creality K2 Plus. Printing with ABS, like I said last week, it's a game changer. And I did not even think about this, Raimi, but Scott from PropRite Props messaged me and he was like, "Oh yeah, I've been printing with ABS forever. I love it, blah, blah, blah." He's like, "Oh, and by the way," and this is something I already knew of, but it didn't even click with 3D printing. He was like, "Oh, save all your ABS supports and turn them into slurry."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, dude, that's like ABS slurry, something that we do on most
what we do with the
kits.
TKs and stuff to like fix cracks or whatever. Yeah.
So that really got me hyped up because I am beginning. One of the things that I worked on this week is I downloaded all of the Range Trooper files for the Range Trooper costume that I'm going to start printing. And I'm going to be printing it in ABS. And I was already not dreading, but kind of stressing the Mud Trooper chest plate that you have to 3D print.
Yeah.
I don't like having the seams. But with ABS slurry, you
can join it.
Join those seams right up and
basically weld it. And what you can also do, I haven't not tried this yet, but supposedly you can sort of like spray you can spray ammonia onto it and like use that, because ammonia will like react with the ABS. That's just how you make the slurry, right? But you can also like spray that on there.
Ammonia or acetone?
Or acetone, sorry.
Okay.
It will react with it, and you can like use that to kind of like as part of your sanding process. And I even know people that will like put something, I don't know how you would do this with something big, but like you can put something in like a chamber with the acetone and like let the acetone vapors react with the thing, and it will essentially like smooth it out. If you time it right, it'll just sort of smooth it without you having to even touch it. I haven't messed with that because the fumes from that are kind of gnarly, but but I have seen that as a technique for smoothing out prints. So
I mean, well, you know, like I said, the printer that I have, the Creality K2, which is the big brother to the K1 Max, it has been printing so smooth. You know, in some of the 3D printing groups online, they do comparisons with the Bamboo printers, and side by side, they're identical. You cannot tell which is coming off which printer. And I think Brian can attest to how smooth those prints are. Brian, what you got?
What are you, tattooing somebody? What's going on over there?
You okay out there, Brian?
I was airbrushing the mask.
He's trying to make sure that the mask matches the body. Yeah.
Wow.
But yes,
okay, so put the mask down and tell us. You didn't talk about Deadpool last week, and I understand why, because you were so frustrated, but you got to talk about it this week.
All right. So needed a Deadpool for this weekend. Luke's is too expensive to ship back and forth, and it has issues because I farted in it a bunch before I gave it back to him.
That's what that was.
Yeah. So Steven found a suit and then sent me a box of printed pieces that I'm going to go grab. Give me 1 second.
Is that the other airbrush, Brian?
That is his. Well, Brian's not in the shot anymore, but yeah, that's so just a little backstory on this. So Brian most of us cannot afford a $2,000 to $3,000 Deadpool suit like what Luke has. And so what we usually have recommended in the past on this show is, you know, go get a good basic suit that, you know, the fabric is there, but perhaps maybe some of the accessories are not, you know, up to snuff when it comes to like the leather and the rubber and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So what Brian did, Brian, you want to take it away?
Yeah. So I got a White Sheep leather. They're like a costume maker out of like Pakistan or something like that. And they make Captain America. My Winter Soldier was that. My Daredevil was that. They have really great fabrics. They might not be exactly screen accurate, but they have a texture and a feel, and they fit good. So yeah, so you can there's different techniques you can do to upgrade it. So for people watching, you can see this suit was bright red, but it's got the fabric has like some really nice texture to it. The screen used suit is like a screen printed with like a plasticky type print on top of it. And for me to kind of mimic that, you know, you do some airbrushing, you do some weathering with some paint, and then you rub otter wax, which is like a waterproofing wax, on top of it. It just comes like in a little bar, and you just kind of lightly rub this on top, and the high parts of the texture get that wax, and it gives it that like sheen. So that's what I'm doing to the mask right now. And it probably doesn't come up on camera very well, but you can kind of see where it's like shiny. That's where like the wax is really like sticking out. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing here. And then talking about Steven's printer, he made these bad boys for me. The holsters, the hip plate, zero sanding. I literally painted and weathered them and called it a day. Using the base straps that came with the suit. So, you know, little upgrades that you can do, find makers that make cool stuff that work for whatever costume it is. There's guys that make rubber pieces for Deadpool because that was kind of like screen accurate, and they're very functional. These have a magnet in it. Pretty cool. And then, yeah, the hard part was really finding a mask that matched the same material as this, because most Deadpool guys are going for the screen accurate, screen printed suits. not this textured fabric. So finding a guy that had a mask that matched this fabric was a little bit challenging. So I'm going to put this mic down for a second. You guys can hopefully hear me and just kind of like see where I'm at. So it's not going to come up very good in the picture, in the camera, but
don't
close.
I would recommend not going so dark on the mask. You know, like the seams, yeah, but you know, keep it not too bright, but
that might sound vaguely reminiscent of something I told you like 30 minutes ago, Brian.
Yeah, Ramey said that to me, and I'm holding back right now from continuing to do so. I think what's going to have to happen is when we get off the pod, I'm going to have to put the suit on and put the mask on and let Ramey look at it and tell me his opinion. So, lots of cool stuff. Steven printed this sheath plate here.
Dude, that's crazy.
Wow, looks so good.
So let me show you something. Let me show you something here too.
So he's taking it apart for our audio listeners. He assembled the entire back sheath holder with magnets.
Don't pinch your hand in it like earlier, Brian. We both almost lost fingers on that thing earlier today.
And Brian's having a really hard time. He's turning red right now, trying to get it apart.
He doesn't want to come apart. Never mind.
There's a vein on his forehead popping out.
Yeah, I'm really crowded right now. I have stuff all around me, and I don't have the space to do it. So
it's fine, dude. Don't take anything apart. Just continue what you're doing. It's good.
We're good. I'm gonna spray paint in here, though, Ramey. Sorry.
I can't wait to see the final product tomorrow. And I think that's everyone's workbench. For you know, I forgot to mention at the top of the pod, John Alpha Ignition is not here tonight because he is on assignment for the pod, and he will be showing that off on next week's workbench on the stuff that he's working on right now. Really exciting stuff for the prop store, our friends over at the prop store. And I think that's it for workbench.
We're being hailed. This encryption's new. This might take a while.
Okay, first up, celebration news. And like they're killing me with the celebration stuff. Like it's not overly exciting. Like another guest announcement, Oscar Isaac. That's it for celebration news. So moving on. Oscar, yeah, well, that's all I got.
Actually, I did hear a rumor about Oscar Isaac being in Japan.
Okay.
Because they're expected to announce some more production news on the new Rey film.
I heard this too. So we'll see.
And if Oscar Isaac is, I mean, he's out of the three main characters in the sequel trilogy, Oscar Isaac, I would say, is probably the biggest star that came out of there. I mean, he's Spider-Man 2099, Miguel O'Hara, he's Moon Knight in the Marvel series, and he's just an all-around like an amazing A-list tier actor. So to get him to go to Japan, all they would need left is John Boyega. And then, dude.
Yeah. So I heard that too, attached to a rumor that like if they were going to make an announcement that both John and Oscar were going to be reprising their roles in the Rey film, that it would make sense for them to be in Japan for that announcement. Mm-hmm. So that I think that's connecting dots that people want to see get connected. So who knows? So we'll see. Nothing's official until it gets announced on stage in Japan.
It's exciting.
Speaking of things being announced on stage, it is award season, and most recently we had the Saturn Awards. So this year, Star Wars took home at least 2 headline awards, as The Bad Batch won in the category of Best Animated Television Series or Special. Series producer and friend of the Dad Batch, Jennifer Corbett, was on hand to receive the award. Worth noting that this means that every single season of the Bad Batch won that award. So, which is very cool. Other shows in the same category this year include X-Men 97, Batman Caped Crusader, Star Trek Lower Decks, Kaiju number 8, and Gremlins The Wild Batch.
Had we lost, and I say we because we're essentially part of season 3, but had we lost to X-Men 97, I would not have been mad.
Yeah, that
I know,
was pretty good.
But Bad Batch winning all three seasons of Bad Batch winning that award in basically 3 consecutive. That's cool.
That's huge.
Dope. That's
Yeah.
like the 92 Bulls. Just
Mhm.
repeat.
Yeah, baby.
Other Star Wars related news: Rosario Dawson won Best Actress in a Television Series for her work in Ahsoka. So she beat out Jodie Foster, Emma Darcy for House of Dragon, Denai Guerrera for The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, Catherine Hahn for Agatha All Along, Ella Purnell for Fallout, Melissa McBride for The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon. Ahsoka was also nominated but did not take home the award for Best Science Fiction Television Series. That one went home with Ella Purnell's Fallout. Not Star Wars related, but kind of tangential. Mark Hamill won the Saturn Award for Best Guest Star in a Television Series for his work on Arthur Gordon Pym in Netflix's The Fall of the House of Usher.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. He beat out Kyle MacLachlan in Fallout and Aubrey Plaza in Agatha All Along and Ke Huy Quan in Loki, among others.
Wow.
So that was quite the lineup there. And Mark Hamill took it home.
Sweet.
Andor was nominated for Best Home Media Release thanks to its Blu-ray Steelbook release, but did not win. Speaking of awards, let's see. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy is going to be honored at the U.S. Ireland Alliance's Oscar Wilde Awards later this month, along with her husband, Frank Marshall. The ceremony, which will take place on February 27th at the Ebel Theater in Los Angeles, will be the 19th annual Oscar Wilde Awards ceremony, which aims to foster relationships between the U.S. and Ireland in the arts, education, politics, and business fields. So I think you can see some of the connections between Lucasfilm Production and Ireland. I mean, they filmed some of the sequel trilogy there, and I know Ireland's been making a play to make sure that they had as much of a footing in the production world as they could get. So, book news: Star Wars Sanctuary reunite with Clone Force 99, including Hunter, Rex, and Omega, in a new novel set before the events of the final season. So the author, Lamar Giles, cover art is from Marie Bergeron. So we've got a link here. Steph's dropping it in the chat right now. Sadly, no Echo in this. He's off with Rex, and Crosshair is obviously with the Empire at this time as well. So set during the events of Bad Batch Season 2 as the Bad Batch works with Phee Genoa on... Is this the first time we got Fee's last name? Or did we know that? I'm not sure I'd ever heard it. So maybe the audience knows and they can say in the chat. But Bad Batch works with Phee Genoa on a plan to rebuild the island refuge of Pabu after the tsunami seen in the episode Pabu. Giles' other title include Fake ID, Spin, and Not So Pure and Simple. This is his first Star Wars novel, although he did contribute to the short story 20 and Out, which was one of the pieces in the Return of the Jedi installation of the Certain Point of View anthology. So Star Wars Sanctuary hits bookshelves on August 5th of this year.
I like that cover.
Yeah. Yeah. The artwork on the cover is cool. I want to post of that.
Yeah, that'd be a cool print.
Little bit of news on, we had talked about kind of in the rumor segment before that about George Nolfi being associated as the latest writer name for the Rey New Jedi Order film. So George Nolfi was talking with filmstories.co.uk about his upcoming film Elevation, and they asked him about his involvement with the New Jedi Order film, and he didn't actually shy away from the topic. So it wasn't a denial, which can be taken as somewhat of a confirmation. But he only spoke about it in general terms. So kind of read into that what you will. Worth noting, Nolfi studied philosophy and politics in school, so these are both subjects that might find their way into his script writing and have in the past. So what he said when asked about it, he says, if you think about George Lucas, the 6 movies that he did and the universe that he created, it's actually very steeped in broad notions of politics. It's not talking about today per se, but there's the empire's Nazism / Roman Empire, the democracy of the Roman Empire collapsing and becoming an empire, and the perennial story of human beings organizing themselves and against chaos. And then the tools that help human societies tamp down on chaos becomes oppression. So that is really very core to what I think George Lucas was trying to talk about. And one of the wonderful things about science fiction and Star Wars, which is more almost science fantasy or space opera, is that you can raise the deepest issues without it feeling like a philosophy class or a political science class or something I read in the newspaper today. It can be about real things, deep things. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So again, he did not shy away from the topic and continued to talk about it. So I think that that indicates that he is in fact in conversations about being involved in the film. So we'll see how it goes. A little bit of sad news. It's actually a couple weeks old, although I've seen it kind of making the rounds in various levels of kind of public fashion. The Peter Mayhew Foundation has officially closed down. Founded in 2011 and used to raise money for a number of different causes over the years, the foundation carried on even after the deaths of Peter Mayhew in 2019 and his wife Angie in 2023. But operating the foundation without both of them has just continued to be a struggle, and the foundation made its final donation to Make-A-Wish recently for the amount of $7,626.46. So sorry to see that one go. I know that that was one that was very closely tied with the 501st Legion, and I personally had done work with them on more than one occasion. So there were very good people behind that foundation, and yeah, sad to see them go. Last up in the news, Young Jedi Adventure Season 2 is wrapping up with the final episodes dropping in March with a few extra nubs related shorts in February. So the final episodes are going to drop on March 19th, where we'll see the younglings team up with Prince Cyrus to defend this planet from pirates, go on a mission to save Yoda, and finally meet an adult Puba for the first time. I guess Nub's species is a Puba. In the meantime, we also get some extra shorts in the Fun with Nubs series on StarWarsKids.com, which will be releasing new shorts every Saturday throughout February and bonus episodes on Wednesdays in March. So, and that is it for news.
Yeah, John's daughter is going to be super stoked on that.
Yeah.
What is the timeline era on the Jedi Adventures? Is that Old Republic?
It's Old Republic. It takes place 200 years. Well, it's High Republic technically. It takes place 200 years before Phantom Menace.
Got it. Okay. So wait, how old is Yoda then? Is he like 45 or something?
What, like 700 years?
Yeah, he's like 700. He's a young spry 725.
Yeah, because he's like 900
though, right?
900 years old during the films,
Return
right?
of the
So
Jedi,
he's only
right? Yeah.
200 years before that, he'd be 700.
Yeah.
All I could think of was Yub Nubs.
Yub Nub.
So if Nubs is, what is it? What's his race? Puba?
Puba.
Do you think
Puba.
as a Puba he goes to Pabu?
Who knows?
Puba life.
I have a picture here of the adult Puba. Give me a second, I can share it.
Whoa. Wait, what are we about to show?
The adult Puba.
Safe for work.
Just don't show us his nub.
Stop it. It's a freaking cartoon. You're killing me.
Yub nub.
Don't show us the Yub Nub, please.
Each of Yub Nub.
Oh wait, here's a quick poll. Do you guys like the original Yub Nub song better than the celebration track laid in?
Of course, man.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just making sure.
Dude,
So apparently
still
that's what Nubs looks like. That's what that species looks like as an adult. So this is our
That's
first
cool.
first
Kind of
glimpse
looks
of
like
it, I guess.
Monsters Inc.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
very Sully.
It's Sully.
Yeah.
This is the
Sully, that's right.
the Monsters Inc. crossover we didn't know we needed. So
That's good.
that's it for the news.
Yub Nub.
I'm touching myself tonight.
True.
True. Fantastic Four. Are you guys all ready for Fantastic Four or what?
Dude, that
Teaser.
trailer was so good. I'm queuing up the trailer for you now, Luke, but
Nice.
before we get into it, I loved it so much.
Yeah, do we want to just give vibes on it before, or do we want to give a little vibes on it after? What do you feel? What are you feeling?
Well,
I'm excited to see this movie though, irregardless of what we say. Just ready. I've watched it about 25 times too. I don't know about you guys, but continue to
Once.
kind of pour
Watch
over
it once.
Once. Come on, man.
I'm not a big Fantastic Four guy.
Yeah,
will be.
and that's my
You will be.
that's my downfall. I've not followed that franchise a lot in the past. So we'll see. I mean, this is their first entry into the MCU, though, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, but
Like,
what,
officially.
one of the things that I like, and who's the director? Is it Matt Shackman?
That
Or this-
I don't know. That
Um,
sounds familiar, but
When they were doing his interview, I think it was at Comic-Con last year, he was like, yeah, we're not doing another origin story. You guys,
Yeah.
if you want to see the origin story, there's like literally 2 other movies under the
Mhm.
Fox banner that you could go watch. But he specifically said this one, he wanted to start it like much later after that. And I heard that the rumor is that the movie's even going to start out doing almost like a flashback kind of thing, like where it's like a montage that they've already defeated all their famous villains like Mole Man and
wow.
and all those other guys, and most of the movie is them getting back together.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it seems like they've kind of already achieved celebrity status based on the way they're portrayed in the trailer.
Yeah.
So there's
Um,
even that like Beatles moment with them on the stage,
Uh-huh.
kind of a
Yeah,
thing.
the
right?
shot of them
Right,
on the stage.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
we'll get to it.
the rumored plot synopsis, and this is all take it with a grain of salt, is that the reason it's titled First Steps is because the team breaks up because Sue Storm and Mr. Fantastic are having their baby, Franklin.
Oh.
And we're literally going to see his first steps when Galactus arrives, because that's why Galactus is coming to Earth, because for those who don't know the Marvel lore on Franklin Richards, he's literally the most powerful character
In the Marvel universe.
in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
He's the son of 2 cosmic powered beings who ends up being a mutant who can control reality itself.
He actually ends up later becoming Galactus
And he
too.
becomes Galactus, yeah.
Yeah. There's a whole weird thing to explain there, but yeah, he's a very powerful character. So that. I love that, and I mean that's what was so amazing about, no pun intended, about how Spider-Man was introduced into the Marvel universe or cinematic universe. They skipped the origin and just jumped in, and you knew what Spider-Man was. Like the entire world, it's like Santa, Jesus, and then Spider-Man as far as the most recognizable people on Earth. Like
in that world, yeah.
Yeah, like in that order. And so for people to not need another Spider-Man origin, like that was the best move. So I do like hearing that about FF, because I feel like it could get bogged down with another origin story, and we've already had iterations of that. So,
But I think regardless of whether you're a fan of the Fantastic Four directly or not, I think it's going to be an important film for setting up future stuff in the MCU, because we've obviously seen that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be playing Dr. Doom, right? Like that was announced on stage last year at Comic-Con or whatever,
Yep.
right? Right. So, and Dr. Doom's obviously had a deep history with Fantastic Four in the past. So there's no way that there's not going to be some kind of cameo or tie-in or something, whether it happens in this film or not. There's got to be a tie-in there.
Yep.
And so this is going to be an important step towards that. So again, whether you're a fan of that franchise or not, this is an important piece towards that future state that we're going to have to be familiar with.
Yeah, that
So.
team, that family, they've been part of all of the big storylines of the comics, so it only
Mhm.
makes sense they're eventually introduced.
Well, here's the thing, right? So the Human Torch is the first Marvel character.
Mm-hmm.
The Fantastic Four is the first family of the Marvel universe. It's so important to the Fantastic Four is so important to Stan Lee, to the Marvel franchise, that Kevin Feige, this is his most important near and dear film to him.
Yeah.
There's no way Feige is gonna let this movie crash. Like it's gonna be perfect. So all right, enough of that. Let's go watch this trailer.
Roll it.
Okay. We have to talk over it. Yeah, we do. We have
Welcome
to.
to the Baxter Building. We're walking.
We make
We're
a point to
talking.
do family dinner every week.
I actually
Always
do
the
like
design on
the
the
kind of
guy, no
Art
matter
Deco
what.
vibe and the time period and everything. But so what I'm trying to understand is what time period does it take place in? Is this actually in the past or
So this is
or is
it,
it,
it, it is 1963 because you can see on the promo artwork they released.
Yeah.
Thing had a Time magazine, and the cover of that is from 1963.
Okay.
Oh wow.
And
okay.
the shot when they're on the Ed Sullivan stage is from 1964.
Okay.
Yeah. And that would
So-
make sense because they were introduced in the comics in 1961. So if you're saying they've already been established a couple years and then they have Franklin, like that timeline lines up. That's crazy.
And is this the 626 timeline or whatever is like the sacred timeline? Or
616, I would
is this like the main time or is this an alternate timeline? Because like
we don't have a universe number for this yet.
but is this the main like normal like Avengers MCU timeline or is this it can't
It is
be, right?
not
Because-
the 616
because none
It
of
would be in
the
the
other
past then.
Avengers or anybody
Yeah.
like none of anything that we've seen here has ever
Oh,
been mentioned in any of the other MCU films. So
Correct.
but I saw on and I think we already missed it, but there was a shot where you see what's on his blackboard
Yeah.
on his
Yeah,
chalkboard
yeah,
and he's trying to create like a
It's-
portal to get to one of the other dimensions.
It has the image of that
The, like, wormhole
kind of
kind of a
infinity
thing.
sign that like
Yeah.
Tony was
Yeah,
building.
so
like
he's trying to get to one of the other
I
MCU
think
dimensions.
back behind his like shoulder there is what they were drawing like initially, like Tony and Doctor Strange and stuff.
Yeah,
Which is crazy.
Yep. Yep.
So there's some leaked footage of the San Diego Comic-Con teaser footage that they aired at the show. And at the convention they hadn't filmed anything really on the movie yet. So they filmed a special clip for that audience at Comic-Con, which was a Mr. Wizard type episode.
Ooh.
And it was basically it was Reed Richards in front of his giant chalkboard teaching a class of kids.
Oh, sick.
And it's as if you're the audience watching this TV episode, okay?
Oh,
And what he's
man.
talking about is that he's basically discovered that it's theoretically possible to have alternate realities.
Wow.
And he's trying to explain to little kids this. And he's basically explaining everything on this chalkboard.
See, those are the little like vignette world building blocks that add in around the movies. Like, do you remember when they did the for Spider-Man, they did the Captain America like PSAs where he's like sitting in the chair backwards in the school gym and he's like, so you
Yeah.
got detention. I've been there, and he like
Yeah.
goes into his whole like those little things that like build out the characters and flesh them out so much more to what their comic iterations were is just so brilliant when they do that, and they do it well.
I like the little
Herbie,
Herbie, like you can see the tape reel like spinning on his face, like it's his eyes, but it's like you can see the tape rotating and spinning.
my kids, we watched this trailer and they loved Herbie and Ben interacting together. Like they didn't realize they were like cooking or whatever, but they were like, they're so funny.
He's
Like,
wearing an apron.
They look like they'd be a dope little duo, like for the laughs for the movie.
I mean, we gotta like the thing in the room here, the big elephant.
No pun intended.
Yeah, the big
Also no
thing in
pun
the room
intended.
here. I mean, the actor for the thing, Evan Moss Backrack, he is a starring role on the show The Bear.
And Andor. He was in Andor.
And Andor. But
Skeen,
you know,
right?
he's cousin chef on The Bear. So for him to like, you know, do this whole thing in the trailer, it was just like chef's kiss, pun intended.
Yeah, I saw somebody had like put him in with like The Bear, and it's like yes chef, and like the caption.
That's sick. The rocket ship too. That's the ship from the comics, like the original 1961 comic. That was the design of it.
I like that rocket.
So
That's
neat.
cool. So retro. Like it looks. Take that in the old school Tomorrowland at Disneyland, it would fit perfectly.
Yeah,
seamlessly, totally.
That's funny that you mentioned that, Remy, because John had posted a link in our private chat. So the rocket that we see on screen here is an actual miniature model that a model shop built, and he linked
old school,
and a majority of the retro modern art deco design of this movie came from, and I forget his name, the Disney diehards will know in the chat, but the gentleman who designed Tomorrowland for Disneyland,
okay,
wow,
is exactly who they got the designs for this from.
Like that camera shot of the rocket too, though, it looks it looks like you're looking through the lens of like an old like 1960s era camera,
like an old news camera.
I actually kind of want to talk to Kiefer about that, because like he loves his like vintage lenses and like all that old camera gear.
You might be able to identify
I bet he would actually be able to look at that and go like, oh yeah, it's like this lens or whatever.
That was such a great snippet of Ben right there. That's totally the heart and soul of Thing right there. Like him, you know, realizing like what he lost as a human and his attachment to like, you know, his family, but like, you know, he was the most disfigured out of the accident, and just that like solemn little nod right there is like, and him dressed up like classic, you know, New York style is just amazing. So perfect to the comics.
I don't think they really touched on the depth of that in the previous movies.
No,
but the whole reason that the Fantastic Four even go public hero, you know, media spotlight is because Reed felt so bad that his best friend Ben got horribly disfigured, and he was like, if you're gonna have the spotlight on you, we're gonna sacrifice our personal life, and we're just gonna have the spotlight on all of us. And
while trying to find a cure for him the whole time too,
and do
the whole time together.
Touch on that in the trailer, in a one trailer, I was like, that's good.
It nailed the tone,
Yeah.
like totally nailed that.
So all right, wait, right here, catch that lens flare.
You made an interesting comment about this, Raimi.
So yeah, I heard a theory here. See how there's like lens flare?
Yeah, it shows even more.
And as he flies away, look, see, there's like dirt and grime on the screen that doesn't move with him. That dirt and grime is on the like camera lens or the screen. And what the theory that I heard was because you're actually watching all of these events through the lens of the TVA, watching this happen from TVA headquarters.
That is straight up glass of peyote.
I mean, that's like Mr. Fantastic level reaching.
Yeah. But if that's the case, that's actually a brilliant little detail.
No, I mean, yo, man, that is.
But look at it. You can see all those little grimes, like all those little specks don't move. They're on the camera lens.
Yeah, and it's obviously like a digital creation there, so there's no reason those lens flare or that dirty lens would be there, even if it was actually filmed like a prop film.
They're there on purpose.
Yeah,
they're on purpose.
That is crazy. Oh my god, that would melt my brain if that's the.
Actually, can this kind of bothered me, but can the Human Torch turn on without saying flame on?
I don't think. I mean, in the comics, it was always flame on.
It's always flame on, right?
Maybe he says it under his breath right there.
That. It's just
flame on.
Flame on.
Flame on.
Flame on.
Flame on.
Flame on.
Wow, flame on.
Flame on. Wow. I really love the way that they did the visuals on Sue Storm's bubble.
Yep, yep. The prism is great. That's a great effect.
I mean, what they did with Jessica Alba was good too, but this is like updated for 2025.
Yeah.
This is good.
It's definitely a unique take on it, and it's a good effect.
And honestly, not to knock those original movies, I actually liked those.
Oh, they're
two
good.
Fox,
Yeah.
those two Fox movies were kind of fun.
So everyone's
What is this? I wonder.
Everyone's speculating this is the wake or the coming of Galactus. Because you can see that the team here, especially Thing, you can tell by the way that Thing is dressed and the way that he's a little bit bulkier than he was in the previous shots. This is like assuming in their future where they've already split up and they're getting back together, and they may be getting back together because of what they're seeing. Yeah,
that's the shot right before the alien ship comes through from Independence Day.
Dude, and the kids with the Thing masks on is so cool.
Dude, the old Ben Cooper masks.
Yeah, yep.
That car is cool.
Yeah, the car is great. That's
the fantastic car.
Flying car, yeah. That shot of him running is so good. So great.
I'm so happy we're not getting a naked Thing.
Me too.
Like, finally they gave him clothes. Okay, so Luke, I wanted to talk to you about this shot here.
Yes.
Gandalf?
Yes.
So I had no idea that John Malkovich was in this movie.
Yeah.
But immediately when I saw him, I thought about in the comics, it was in I want to say it was in the later 2015 run.
You're talking like the Jonathan Hickman stuff, like Future Foundation, like the Council of Reeds or whatever.
Yeah. So there was a thing in the comics where Dr. Doom did the brain swap or the mind swap with Reed.
Yeah.
But then there was a thing in the comics where that mind swap had never been reversed. And then Dr. Doom in Reed's body grows old.
Yep.
He looked exactly like that in the comic.
Man. So you're thinking, oh my God.
So if this is how they're going to explain the whole like
connection,
Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. thing by I'm like, dude, I did the Leo DiCaprio like, oh,
that's
like,
crazy.
Yeah.
I wasn't going there. I was thinking it was like maybe like Franklin Richards in the future or something. And it was, but God, dude, I forgot about the Council of the Reeds and that whole storyline with Doom. That actually could be a really
they've got to
easy way
move
for them to
forward.
tie it. Yeah,
they've got to move quick on this because literally the next movie after Fan 4 is going to be Doomsday.
Yeah. So it has to have a significant tie-in that would register, to make sense for why is Tony Doc Doom and what's the parallel universe connection. Damn. I mean, that's
and
that's
why get
heavy.
why get an actor like John Malkovich?
Yeah.
If it's gonna like, because I saw some people saying, oh, it's Mole Man, but I'm like, no, you're not gonna get John Malkovich to just be
he doesn't read
a 5-minute Mole Man.
You don't waste him on a bit part.
No, that's not a cameo. That's a significant play.
And then of course we move on later to this.
The deets. Look at the deets on his helmet. Oh my God, dude. Galactus. That's bonkers.
And there's been a lot of like griping about like the size of him. Like he's supposed to be able to like eat an entire plate, but he can change his size at will. Like so it doesn't matter how big. Like he can be gigantic or smaller or whatever. Like
he's been portrayed a bunch of different scales in the comics. So.
There's been instances where he's human size.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
totally.
Isn't Galactus like part of like a group of like super galactical beings? Or was
You're thinking of like the Celestials from
Celestials,
Eternals that we kind of got a glimpse of.
He is one of them, isn't he? Isn't he a Celestial?
He's kind of like he's immortal, kind of like in that sense, or he can be killed, but he could live forever if he wasn't ever harmed. But I don't think he's an outright celestial. I think he's another one of those like beings like the Beyonder or one of those powers in the universe that's kind of on that scale, but I don't think he's an outright celestial. Somebody might have
I thought
to
I recall like an
fact check me on
image
that.
from a comic or something where it's like him and a couple other guys that are like these giant beings.
Oh yeah, I mean like the
Right?
the Infinity Gauntlet,
Yeah.
which is like the Thanos Endgame storyline. Like in the
Yeah.
comics, he's
There's a group of them.
yeah, like the Watchers there,
Yeah,
he's
okay.
there, the Celestials,
right.
like all of these like
Yeah.
very big god level cosmic characters were there to watch this thing unfold with Thanos because it was such a heavy cosmic event.
And
Be
then the
still
movie
my beating heart.
movie comes out July 25. That's literally the Friday of Comic-Con San Diego.
So we're going to that movie again, huh? Like
That's
we did
not
Deadpool
going to hit
Wolverine?
the same. That's not
So-
going to hit the same.
It
No,
is, fool,
so
it is. Just you
Luke,
wait.
you make a Human Torch costume, a Johnny Storm.
Done.
Raimi, you're gonna make Mr. Fantastic, of course. I'll do the thing.
Boom.
Brian, sorry, dude. There's only
Yep. Mole
one
Man.
out.
Good. I don't want to do that.
Sue Storm?
Mole Man.
You can do Sue
No.
Storm.
No. No.
Or we'll just say the Invisible Woman's right next to us.
It's gonna be the Fantastic 3. So have fun with
Invisible
that.
Brian.
The Invisible Brian. He's standing right here.
Fantastic 3 coming at you. Comic-Con.
Booyah. You know what else was cool about that trailer is they're doing the countdown for the rocket in the 4 and they just go 5 and that's 5 months from the premiere, which is really cool. And they didn't say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They just went 5, to put off the effect.
Or they're gonna rename
Giacchino, is it Mick or Mike? Is Mick or Mike Giacchino doing the score on this? I think it's Mick.
I think it's Michael.
Is it Mike?
Michael. Yeah,
Michael.
it's the dad.
Nice.
I love the score that he did on this trailer. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Four.
Yeah.
Um,
It's the
Yeah.
perfect level of camp for like the 60s vibe, dude. I was on board with that whole thing from the get-go. I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
yeah, it's gonna be good. Yeah, I can't wait for it.
Hell yeah. Well, that's the minute. That's all I had for us.
You guys in Orlando got a lot of weathering to do and con crunching to crunch.
Are you suiting up tomorrow, Brian?
Yes.
Yes. See, puppy. Oh, boy.
Well, I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the show tonight. You can follow me at stevie.kicks on Instagram, sometimes on X. Gentlemen, let the listeners know where they can find you. Brian?
At MegaCon. Thursday through Sunday.
Nice. Luke?
Left Coast Avenger and watching everybody at MegaCon on Instagram.
Nice. And Raimi?
You can find me at MegaCon, specifically at booth 3081 at the Heroes and Villains booth all weekend long at MegaCon.
Nice.
Oh yeah, can't forget our boys.
Thank you again, everybody, for listening to episode 123 of the Dad Batch podcast. Be sure to tune in next week for episode 124. It's going to be a big one next week because we're going to have a lot of stuff to go over.
That's what she said.
And until next time, enjoy your spice responsibly.